Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It is me, Calm here. So today we're actually doing something different. We're going to do a book review. We are going to be doing Girl, Woman, Other by Bernadine Evaristo. I hope I'm saying that right. I love the book, and I'm going to talk about the next book that we're going to review for the next video if you want to kind of like read and catch up and kind of like join this odd poorly timed book club that's going to happen whenever I feel like I can finish the book. The first impression of the book, first of all, obviously the cover, it caught my eye. It's very bright. I've heard so many things about Bernadine Evaristo's books, and I believe in the haul I have 2 others or maybe 3. I have a bunch saved on Goodreads. Like, I'm ready. I'm ready, Miss Bernadine, to read all the books, because this book, the juiciest book. If you do not like reading, that's absolutely fine, but we're not actually talking to you. Leave the video. We're talking to people who like to read. Okay, this book is juicy. It's a short read. I say short, like it didn't take me ages to read the book. It has 452 pages. However, each chapter is about like one character, either part 1, part 2, like things that they're going through. They're all linked. They're either friends, they're either cousins, or their mother and daughter, or church friends, and it's so interesting. So spoiler, 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 spoiler alert. I'm gonna spoil the book, so do not go any further if you're like, oh, I just want to hear about. No. Pause, buy the book, read it, come back. Let's get into the let's get to the juiciest chapter, yeah, where the mum sleeps with her own daughter's husband, so basically her son-in-law, and she's like, oh, we slept together, it was so intense, I loved it, and now he won't even look at now he won't even look at me, blah blah blah. And I was like, if I was the daughter, I would have given you one of these and one of these. I would have, don't talk about harm, but yeah, it would have been something in that household. What do you mean you're sleeping with someone's husband and you have your own husband? Clear it up. Excuse me. So it all starts with this woman called Amma. I want to get the names right because I've started reading the other books, so I've kind of forgot some of the names. Yes, it's Amma. So this woman called Amma, she is putting on a play and she's invited a bunch of people. So these people are like teachers from her school. They're coming to see her play, and her friend Dominique. We're gonna get into Dominique's tea. Everyone in the story is so unique. Everyone in the story is going through their own shit, and it's so crazy, like, because at first you like hate a character, and then you read about this story, you go, I don't know if I hate you, I just feel bad for you. Or like you read one character being like, oh, I'm so strong, and then at the end they're like, I wish I had this other person's strength to get me out of the situation. So Amma is the mother of Yaz, which is the second chapter. Yaz is, she's really finding herself. All of these chapters are people finding themselves in different ways, and I don't relate to Yaz. I think we're meant to be like in a similar age range. I think I don't really relate to her, just being that even though I have young parents, I'm not raised to like be super resistant to them. Like if my mom said right now, go outside and cover your feet in dirt, I'm gonna have to go outside and cover my feet in dirt because she told me to. Whereas Yaz is a bit more, I'm me, I'm building who I am, which I love the character, but it's an odd like polar opposite for me to read about, because I'm like, I don't know if I would be friends with her. But she's super like it's, I don't know what the word is. It's like someone who's determined for the world to be put in the right place, and if you've been on earth for more than 2 days, you know it's just not going to happen. Like, as long as people have thoughts, there's always going to be someone that doesn't think the same way that you do. And she gets very passionate and riled up when people are like, well, what's with this, what's with that? She's like, please don't come over here with that, don't come over here with that noise. Next we have Dominique. Oh my god, Dominique. So I need a sip. Hold on. Dominique, so she is friends with Amma, and I believe she's Yaz's godmother, something like that. So let's talk about how Dominique moves to this woman's only community. I believe it's in Africa, or is it in America? Is it in South America? I think it's in Africa. Anyway, I could be absolutely wrong. She moves to this woman's community, and I'm like, oh my god, I would love to live in a women's only community. What? Live, love, laugh, life, and I won't have to wear a bra, and I can go around naked, and I'm gonna be safe? You're wrong. She gets into this relationship with this woman. I need this woman's name so I can cuss her out. What's her name? Oh, it's Nzinga. We don't even like Nzinga, so anyway, her name's Nzinga, and at first Nzinga always gave me bad vibes. Like I was like, why is Nzinga like this? Like, it's a red flag if your partner hates your friends, and it could be for two reasons. Either your friends are actually terrible people or your partner's a terrible person. You make the choice. And Nzinga didn't like Amma, and Amma's like, I just want the best for my friend. My friend's super independent, my friend's super like girl boss, you know? So why is it whenever you're around, she's not trying to talk, she's not trying to laugh, she's not trying to bust joke? Clearly it's weird. So they leave. Dominique and Nzinga go to this community, and immediately Nzinga's like ostracizing them from the other women in the community, when in reality, well, you can live separately, but they want everyone to live together. But instead, like, even the leader of the community is like, hey, if you need help, please come to us, let us help you if she's doing anything. But if you guys want to live on the outskirts and by yourself, that's completely cool as well. So at first I'm thinking she's gonna live a perfect life of solitude, she's gonna miss like home. Girl, her and Zinka starts, they have a DV relationship. It's really heartbreaking to like watch someone realize that they've not been themselves for a long time. I think she's there for like a year or maybe 3 years, and she's so, I live outside the park and clearly someone has to scream at this time. It's so strange watching someone get so wrapped up in somebody else that they're willing to like sacrifice themselves. It made me really sad. I actually think I was brought to tears, because Dominique is explained as this powerful, beautiful woman who is magnificent, and then she just like becomes so little of herself. Even in the book, it just feels like she becomes a ghost of a person. But towards the end, she escapes, and then for the rest of her chapter, she kind of like makes references to how good her life is going to be now, but she always has that lingering thought of, what if Nzinga finds me? She's going to kill me if she finds me, because she's going to be so angry that I left. And then towards the end, we find out that Nzinga died, and she still was talking about Dominique, and it's like, girl, you ran for the hills. You were meant to run for the hills, because that bitch was crazy. That one was crazy. And I knew something bad was going to happen in the relationship. You just have to read it to see the setup. She's kind of just like always in the corner watching her, like, why are you under surveillance in a relationship? Crazy to me. I don't want to say it couldn't be me, but crazy, like, it's crazy. I'm sorry, it's absolutely crazy. And it's so weird how it just slips in as well. Like, it just becomes very quickly a situation where, because she's so in love with this woman and she trusts this woman, and this woman is like almost kind of like her spirit guide, sort of, she allows her to tell her what to do. She I don't want to say allows her like that, because obviously there was violence in the relationship, but she's welcoming, giving this woman her power, which is absolutely fine. Do what you want to do. But she does it so much to the point where even when she wants to leave and she says no, stay, like Amma comes to the community to get her, she's like, hey, we're leaving, and she's like, I can't leave her. And it's like, girl, you gotta leave, we gotta go. But yeah, it's really interesting how it's put like straight at the front. Like, you have two very powerful characters who are like, I'm not changing, don't tell me shit. And then you have Dominique, who is a part of that group and is supposed to be following them, and she's like in a relationship, she becomes the polar opposite and then like regains herself. So it was a happy ending, thank God, because I do not like knowing when characters don't like make it. It actually is really sad. So I'm gonna skip Carol, because not that I didn't find Carol's story interesting, but like Bumi's story is so juicy. So basically, I'm gonna have to cut it short because I don't want to be here telling the whole entire book, but the first chapters need to be explained because those were like grippers for me. I can tell if I don't like a book by the time I get to the first chapter, and come on. So we're gonna go to Bumi. Bumi is a woman who is married to a man, and her husband dies, I believe, and then she has a best friend. I don't remember her best friend's name, but they both have lost their husbands and they're both finding comfort in each other, and they both go to church, and I'm like, oh my god, this is so cute, this is so wholesome. Then they start a relationship, and it's so interesting how like she writes about how it becomes a friendship, and then they start longing for each other because they both understand that feeling of your husband's gone this provider's gone, this person that was with you for so long is gone, and they kind of lean into each other and they start dating and they start doing things. And then I think Bumi's the one who's like actually falls back, and then she sees that the friend that she was doing stuff with moves to another woman, and she's like, oh my god, like this has been playing out in the church and nobody knows, nobody would figure it out, nobody would notice. It's so weird to think, like, because obviously most people assume like you find out what you like, you know, when you're at university, at school. You would never think like after your first marriage has ended because your husband died, not even because she like left him, that you find out that this might be something you're interested in. And I think at the end she dates a man, like that's who she then like confides in at the end and links to him. And it's a weird warm feeling that I had for her, because I was like, you know, like why shouldn't you explore later on in life? Why shouldn't you, like, why does your life have to stop because you decided you're gonna marry a man and the man died? Like why should the full stop be there if that's not what you want, you know? And she didn't want that, clearly, because obviously she did what she did. So it wasn't like the typical, I mean, she's African, it's not like the typical, oh, we're married forever, I'm just gonna be a single housewife. Like, no, she was like, I want something for me, I don't want to be lonely. And it's an interesting perspective on like what happens when you re-find yourself later on in life. I'll close with the Bumi chapter because I've basically spoiled the first half of the book. The second half of the book is a bit more, it's such a nice wrap up. There's a woman who, her father gave away her daughter without her knowing, because she had a child, a teenage pregnancy. And then at the end she finds her, and it's such a warm, happy ending. Like, I don't want to say women don't get happy endings, but women don't get happy endings like this, I find, where it's like life fucked you and now you're being unfucked. Like that, then that never happens. Usually they become so bitter and they become so enraged and they become a version of themselves they didn't expect. Whereas everyone in this book pretty much evolves in a very gracious way, in a very, I hate the world, but this is how I'm gonna move forward from it. And it's really beautiful. I think you should read the book. Read the book. Tell me if you like the book. If you hate the book, I don't know what to tell you if you hate the book. I think it says a lot about you as a person if you hate the book, you know? Like, the screws are jingling about in there. I don't really like that. It's very beautiful. It's like a very diverse group of women. There is a transgender character, and they go through the motions of like, can I be this, can I be that, who says I want to recognize myself as these genders, what if I just want to be me, what if I just want to go by my name? And I've never had those complex thoughts, so it's weird being in someone's head. And I think she joins a community and they're all discovering themselves as well, so it's weird like sitting in the back and watching them go, like she's learning while she's also deciding how she's going to define herself. Whereas from my perspective, the friends I have, they come to me with their own definition. They're like, this is who I am, this is it, and I'm like, okay, cool. Versus if I had to teach someone, these are the ways that you should identify or could identify, and they're like, well, I don't like that way, I don't like this way, I don't like that way. I'd be like, I don't know what to tell you, I don't know what to tell you. So it's weirdly wholesome, it's funny, it's interesting, it's gag worthy. You gag. I gagged when I got to Bumi's chapter. I said, Bumi, Bumi. Bumi likes the ladies. Gagged me, absolutely gagged me. Thank you, Bernadine Evaristo. This book is juicy. This book is so juicy. I absolutely love this book. Yes, that's the end of this. Let me know if you rate the book. I would rate this book, I think, an 8 out of 10. And the only reason, Miss Bernadine, you're not getting a 10 is because the book is not as long as I need it to be. Okay, you ended great. That's really good. How come there's not a part 2? How come I got to the end and I was turning pages, there's no more pages to be turned? That's my only, and I never want a book to be really long, but like by the time I got halfway to the book I said no, because I've just reached the gag worthy parts. Why is the book halfway done? How can you wrap up a book like this? It's crazy. The book needs to be longer, I'm sorry. Like, there's no contest on that. That book is short as fuck.